Hello, everyone, and welcome to Civic Platform. This is your host, Zuher Almusre. Today, I'm covering the Challenge for Life. It's an event organized by CancerCare Manitoba Foundation, and I will meet Patty Smith, President and CEO, CancerCare Manitoba Foundation. So let's jump right in. Hello, Patty. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, Zuher. How are you? Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm really glad to have you on my show, Civic Platform. And let's start and tell me who are you and what are you doing?
Well, as you said, my name's Patty Smith, and I'm the president and CEO at CancerCare Manitoba Foundation, which I'm very grateful to hold this role. So you and I are here today to talk about our largest single fundraising event of the year, which is Challenge for Life. Challenge for Life started yesterday, August 4th, and it will run until August 14th.
Sounds great. So before we begin, tell me in like a general about the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation, when it started and what is your message and goals with your organization?
Absolutely. So CancerCare Manitoba Foundation is about just over 20 years old. It was formed in 1999. And our mandate is to raise funds in support of the priorities of CancerCare Manitoba. So we support research. It's a very big part of our mandate because government funding isn't available for research. We support clinical trials and patient experience. Those are our the major things that we raise money to support at CancerCare.
Oh, great. And when did your organization start the Challenge for Life?
This is the 15th year for Challenge for Life. So we're celebrating 15 years this year. One of the really special things about Challenge for Life, and it's certainly changed since COVID, which changed things for everybody.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is true about all the funds raised by this foundation and by this event is it all stays in the province of Manitoba to support Manitobans with cancer. So everybody participating and all of the donations we receive stay in our province to support our population and our people with cancer and their families.
Sounds great. So I want to ask you some like question with like just a memory one. Why you started? What guide you to start a Challenge for Life? From where that idea came?
Well, the idea probably came from somebody much smarter than me, and it was before I got here because I haven't quite been here 15 years. But I think it probably began as sort of an offshoot or a takeoff or an emulation of sort of some national events that were walks in support of cancer. And we believed, or a group of people believed, that we could do an event like that locally, that we could, there would be enough participants, either people who are having an experience with cancer. One of the mandates for Challenge for Life as well has always been to reduce our own risk of cancer. So it's part of our messaging as well as people, we want people to try to move. It's one way to reduce the risk of cancer is to be active and to eat well. And this was traditionally a one-day event, and it was a 20-kilometer walk. That's how it began. It's evolved a little bit since then, but it was definitely meant to be a challenge in terms of both the length of the walk, which was a challenge for many and required some training by many people, and also a challenge to raise funds. All of our participants, I'm one as well. We are supported by our friends and family, people who make donations in support of our challenge, and that's mostly how the money is raised.
for example, if I want to like share my video and participant with this challenge, what should I do? Where I have to go, and how long my video it looks like? What should I be doing to be a part from and eligible to share my video and share my experience with this challenge?
Well, one of the things the best way for people that want to even learn about Challenge for Life is to go to the website, which our website is challengeforlife.ca. There's lots of information there about the event itself. It's a place where people can register if they want to. They can certainly just learn about the event, or they can make donations to the event as well. But it's a good place to learn and to see what some people are doing. One of the things that we do as an organization, now that the event spans 10 days, is we try to either meet up with participants or have participants send videos to us that we will then share with the rest of the participants, because people do a lot more now than just walk, now that they have the opportunity. And so one of the things that we had to sort of try to reinvent when in 2020, when we couldn't have an in-person event, was a way to sort of help people meaningfully be part of an event like this and raising money for the foundation. And the best way we thought we could do that was to let people choose their own activity. So some people still do a walk, or some people walk now 20 kilometers over the 10 days. They don't have to do it all at once. Some people cycle. This year, I know somebody who's walking a golf course 3 rounds. It takes 3 rounds of a golf course to equal 20K, I'm told. Some people are kayaking, some people are swimming, some are hiking. Really, it's only limited by a person's imagination, what they can do to move and stay active and raise money. The other thing it's done, Zuher, is it's helped us engage with much more of the province, because the event is not a one-day in-person event in Winnipeg. People in Gillam, Manitoba, or people that would never have been able to make the day part of what they do can participate.
Wow. So if you allowed me now, I want to share the video you made. The viewers will see you again in this video, but we have like some examples from the people who share their videos.
Wonderful. Hello, and welcome to the 15th Annual Challenge for Life. To know that so many of you have signed up for and committed yourselves to this event and to Manitobans is quite remarkable. I look forward to seeing all of the different challenges you will be doing across the province this year. This year, I will be lacing up my shoes with a longtime Challenge for Life participant and fundraiser, and walking 20 kilometers in support of the many Manitobans on a cancer journey today, and for those who will face one in the future. Like many of you, I have lost loved ones to this terrible disease, and the work I am able to do gives me a daily glimpse into how cancer impacts us all. What gives me hope is knowing that together we can and will make a difference. Cancer is bigger than all of us, but our strength is in our community, communities that you are creating and building through your commitment to Challenge for Life and your commitment to improving lives and outcomes of those around you. You are dedicated, you are inspiring, and you give hope. So as we all move together over the next 10 days, please know the incredible impact you are having on changing the course of cancer in this province, because you can. Thank you so, so much. Now please take a moment to watch some activities from your fellow challengers.
We're raising money for cancer care, clinical trials, and research. The challenge I will be doing is swimming 200 laps.
I'm going to be doing a combination of walking my dogs and getting back into my Zumba and tennis, and I have a pool, so I'll be doing some laps and a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to try and switch it up as much as I can.
This year, my teammate, my daughter Nicole, and I will be riding and walking throughout Winnipeg.
I'll be walking 200 minutes on the trails of San Antonio, Texas, in support of the Manitoba-based effort for Dawn's Dynamic Duo and Friends. This is a special event for me. It's one that honors my brother who lost his battle last year.
Wow, it's so inspiring to see and share in all of the physical activities you are planning to do in the coming days. By participating in Challenge for Life, you've committed to reducing your own risk of cancer and also raising critical funds for a very important cause. We are so grateful. Your donations and fundraising efforts will ensure that we can continue to support the priorities of CancerCare Manitoba in the best way possible. Funds raised support local research and advancements in treatments that lead to better patient outcomes and excellent care for all Manitobans. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Bison Cares and TransSolution Truck Centres for being our co-presenting sponsors once again this year, and to Canada Life, Fillmore Riley, CWB National Leasing, and the Tomorrow Project. Your support of this event makes a significant difference. You make this event better. You make lives better. Cancer touches so many of us, and I know that very likely almost all of you have personal motivations for taking the challenge. Please know how significant an impact you are making and how deeply appreciative we are. Thank you from all of us at CancerCare Manitoba Foundation.
We are going to be doing our 20K walk on August the 6th, and we are walking in memory of our loved ones and friends who have been taken too soon. We're walking to give hope and support for everyone that's going through the battle.
I am so happy to do this challenge this year for all the cancer care kids and special, and for all the family that having struggled with cancer.
We're going to be hiking in parks around the city of Winnipeg as part of the Challenge for Life in honor of our dad, Super Dave.
I am taking the challenge along with my team, the Deloitte Green Dots, where we are committing to doing 200 minutes of walking during that period. I am personally taking the challenge in support of every woman who has been impacted by cervical cancer, having been a survivor myself.
Whether you bike, run or walk, I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment to making Manitoba the province with the world-class cancer care. Like you, we at CancerCare Manitoba are proud of our province, and we are very proud to serve our community. Our objective is to offer high-quality cancer services to all Manitobans. It is our goal and our promise to you. The key to winning the battle against cancer is research. At CancerCare Manitoba's Research Institute, which is affiliated with the University of Manitoba, we develop and test innovative cancer treatments through discovery, clinical research that includes clinical trials and health services research. This is where the breakthroughs happen, and this is where life-saving treatments are developed. Thanks to you and your generous commitment, the CancerCare Manitoba Research Institute and CancerCare Manitoba can continue with life-saving, evidence-based, high-quality treatment. As we say at CancerCare Manitoba, we serve our community. We improve care through discovery. This is how we make a difference to every patient and their families during a difficult time. Challenge for Life is lots of fun and sometimes hard work, but it is also an opportunity for you to make a difference. For that, we at CancerCare Manitoba are truly grateful. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, Patty, think it was amazing. Nice video. I like the people how they are creative and they share. Now my question is, there is like another programs, Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation put beside the Challenge for Life, or this is the only things what we have?
Well, Challenge for Life is certainly our largest single fundraising event, but as a foundation, organizationally, we have in October every year an event that raises money in support of women's cancer. That event is about this year almost 30 years old, 31 years old, I think, in October this year, and we're back to an in-person event. And then in the spring, we try to have an event in support of men's cancer. This will be now in 2023 in March. So we do that as well. One of the cornerstones and really special things about CancerCare is we have about, I'm going to say, around 300 events that are hosted by the community. So we call them third-party events or community events, where people, and the events range in sizes from a lemonade stand to a very large golf tournament. People that are doing an activity, hosting a golf tournament in support of CancerCare Manitoba Foundation. Often people that have had an experience with cancer themselves, or somebody close to them has had one. But these are other ways that people donate to CancerCare Manitoba Foundation.
If I ask you, like a general speaking, I know maybe the doctors will help me more with this question, but from your experience, how Manitobans people suffer from the cancer today? There is a numbers you have, just a general speaking.
Sure.
How you are standing?
Well, we know that in Canada, 2 in 5 of us will receive a cancer diagnosis at some point in our life. So that's about 40% of us. And what we know in Manitoba is that 19 people a day in Manitoba are told for the very first time you have cancer. So that's about 7,000 people a year in Manitoba receive their first diagnosis of cancer. And then within that, of course, once you're in the cancer system, if you will, you may be in treatment for a long time or a short time, but those are 7,000 new diagnoses. And then, of course, people are in the care of CancerCare until their treatment is finished.
I see. And your fundraising go directly for the people who had cancers and help them to treat. It goes direct to them, right?
Most of the money, much of the money, I shouldn't say most, much of the money we raise every year supports the Research Institute, because we believe, or CancerCare believes, and the cancer community believes, that of course research leads to discoveries, and research is what has led to much better outcomes for pediatric cancers, for women with breast cancer. A lot of research dollars have been invested for a long time, and we'll continue to do that for all cancers. So research is a big part of what, because that's the way to ensure better outcomes over the years. Having said that, we also are very committed to supporting the best possible patient experience that we can. Government does a lot to support actual treatment for patients, but they can't do everything. And people, on a cancer journey are probably in it for a long time. So we have physiotherapy programs, and we have music programs, and we have art programs, and we have counseling services, and things that will help people sort of navigate their way through the experience in the very best way possible.
I totally agree with you. This research, it's very important, because it's the key of know how this things happen, and we can treat it well. So I totally like the way how you manage this research. Now, if I ask you about what the challenge you face during you managing this field, what I don't know what you are facing every day, but what's the most highlight challenge, if you want to say?
Well, I think from a fundraising perspective, certainly one of the challenges has been and it's getting better, has been sort of the inability to meet face to face with people for 2 years. COVID changed things for all of us. We also had opportunities, like you and I talked about a little bit ago, about engaging more of the province in fundraising, but certainly all of our attention turned to other things for 2 years during COVID. I think some of the challenges for cancer care and for patients was, as simple or as not simple as having to attend to a treatment by yourself. It was very common until COVID that people could come for a lengthy chemotherapy treatment and come with a spouse or with a loved one. And during COVID, people had to come to those appointments and be alone. And that's opening up now, that's changing, but that was a pretty challenging time, I think, for cancer patients.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned about the pandemic period, and that guided me to this question: how was the experience of distance education during the recent period with the prevalence of the corona pandemic? So how was it?
Well, I think, bigger than education, one of the things that CancerCare did more of is what they call telehealth. So we've always had a telehealth program because sometimes it's just more efficient for somebody in Thompson also to include their family in a conversation with their doctor, to do that via what they call telehealth. So I think they did much more of that. We had to get, and as did CancerCare, much more comfortable with different ways of communicating. CancerCare didn't want people to have to come out physically to CancerCare unless they really had to. So if there were ways that people could be safely accommodated and have an appointment with a doctor, either via video conference or by the phone. And to your point, because education and cancer support services are a very big part of what we offer, we had to get much more comfortable and sophisticated in doing that virtually. So I think all of those will be takeaways that will carry into the future. I think none of that will go away forever, even as the world opens up.
Mm-hmm. There is a said it says knowledge it's better than a treatment. So what knowledge that the communities and the normal people they have to know, and like to early checkup, for example, about the cancer. So what's the knowledge you expect the people should know about it to make that disease maybe less? When you say like a 40% from it's a huge number, right? So what knowledge we have to we need the people to know about the cancer?
Well, I think the best way, we know that, when we say somebody has cancer, unfortunately, there's about 200 kinds of cancer. So it's not as simple as just you have cancer. It's, even within breast cancer, there's a number of kinds. So again, it goes back to one of the things we try to address through Challenge for Life. What can we individually do to reduce our own risk? We can't prevent all cancers. We know that there are many people who get lung cancer that don't smoke. We also know that if we smoke, it is one of the things that can lead to lung cancer. So when we're trying to reduce our own risk, we ask people to consider not smoking. We ask people to eat better. We of course suggest sunscreen. Protect yourself from the sun. It can be very dangerous. Eat well, and make sure that we get screened when our doctor tells us we're at a certain age, whether it's breast screening for colon cancer, women for cervical cancer, those things are available to us. And those are the primary ways that we can do what we can. We can't do everything, but do what we can to stay as healthy as we can and reduce the risk.
Mhm. And if we need to increase our fundraising every years, or we know like Canadian, they are very generous, but sometimes still they thought like I can spend my money with something else. So this is a huge part. We lost a lot of people from our families, and every family they face this challenge. So what's your message for the people who still think to support the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation?
Well, it's a wonderful question, and thank you for asking it. There's no question that, and I'm mindful of it every day, because we're also in a time where, the economy is difficult and people are struggling and things are more expensive, and there's still some uncertainty. One of the things that is true about this foundation, though, and again, there's many wonderful causes, and to your point, not just Canadians, but Manitobans are very generous.
Yeah.
Chances are that almost all of your audience has already been impacted and touched by cancer somehow. If it isn't us personally, it's a family member, a neighbor, a coworker. And if we're fortunate enough not to have had it touch our life yet, chances are it will. It doesn't discriminate. And it does not mean that everybody who gets cancer will pass away from cancer. There's lots of treatments out there. And one of the goals of the foundation is to support cancer care so that people can live well with cancer. We don't want it to, and people are living well with cancer and long lives. So, there are some very mean kinds of cancer, and there's some that are more treatable and people live, decades after. What we say at this foundation is that every dollar makes a difference and every dollar counts. And it's not within all of our ability to make very large donations, but we get many, many donations from children and who are, again, sometimes from birthday parties, sometimes from their allowance. And we take as good care of those as we do our larger donations. We can't do it without the support of the community. We won't make any progress. It's simply completely dependent on the generosity of our community. And we're very blessed at CancerCare Manitoba Foundation that people have been so supportive and generous to us.
Mm-hmm. So if I can say, like, everyone, when he experienced the cancer, especially it will be like our secret. Nobody want to know about it, or we couldn't share also our kids how they are suffering. It's very painful. But my vision, because I suffer from this disease with my families and I lost a lot, and I don't have enough knowledge on my back home how to deal with that one. So when we know like someone experienced or had cancer, so just wait his death. So this is the final things, and his life, it's terrible. So as you said, like, we can make it better. We can make his life better. He can live good with this cancer. Maybe he didn't pass away. Maybe he get a chance to take off that part, and that's it. He can continue his life. So does the media want can support your organization more to share more stories about that, even if we can act to make someone not like an actor do something similar and show the people how these people suffer, how their life looks like, how their families look like, and then we can find a way to get more support. So how that's sensitive here in Manitoba, especially, or in Canada, to share this kind of story to society? Or there is like another vision, like we need to, the people already have their stories and they suffer from their personal story. So we don't want to affect them more. So what's your idea in this area?
Well, it's a wonderful point you raised, because one of the ways people give of themselves to this foundation is exactly sharing stories that they're having. And some of them are still in the midst of stories. As you said, we have some very close friends of our foundation who have children being treated with cancer. That's a very tough thing for both the child and the parents to go through. And one of the ways that people choose to help us is to let us tell their story through either a direct response mailing or a newsletter story, because what we always want people to know when they're donating as well is that behind every dollar, there's a person. There's a person and there's a family, and the dollars do real things to help these real people. And so you're completely right when you say, as we hear the stories and as we're able to tell the stories and share them more broadly with people, that's where we really want people to know that it really does make a difference. And the difference is in specific people benefiting because people are so generous.
There is like another challenge who had a cancer. So we know how to educate him and to look positive for the life. And maybe the doctors, they are professional to speak with this person. But his family, this is like the second part. It's two hands, like the doctors and the family. If the family feels sad a lot, crying in front of him all the time, they can read the eyes like, oh, we will lose you very soon. Oh, what we can do after you. This is like another education and another message for the families, how to take a good steps with that person. He's a normal, he has a challenge, and we can treat him like as a normal person. He don't have to, for example, to quit his job and sit at home. He don't has to just like a last trip with that person. Or so these things, I can see it in our society and maybe you as well, and that affects like negatively. How does that very hard to accept?
One of the things that somebody invited me to think about when I started to work here, she's a doctor here and she works with families, both the patient and the families, because one of the things, cancer is very much about a whole family. It's not just about the patient, because it impacts everybody and everybody needs some support. But one of the things she said, and I think this is a little bit what you were alluding to, is that she said to me, Patty, don't try not to use the phrase cancer patient. She said, let's talk about people or patients with cancer. It's not the only thing. It's not the only thing that describes my experience. I may have cancer, but I also have a family, and I also have a job, and I also have friends, and so it was just felt like a small thing, but it really changed the way that I look at people now. That's only one part of their story. There's other really important parts of their story.
This is like a very large topic, and if we have more time, we can speak a lot of it. So your last word to wrap up everything, your message to our community and the Manitoban and Winnipeg people, what it will be.
Well, my last message is that we will continue at CancerCare Manitoba Foundation to dream about a world free of cancer. And until we get there, we will try to make opportunities as meaningful as we can for people to help us make that dream come true. So Challenge for Life, which is an event that's running right now, is one of those ways. People can learn more about CancerCare Manitoba Foundation by going to our website, which is cancercarefdn.mb.ca. And really, I'd like to leave your audience with my profound thanks, because I know that many of them will already be very involved with the work that we're doing here, and my commitment that we will always take good care of every dollar that they so generously send our way.
Patty Smith, President and CEO of CancerCare Manitoba Foundation. Thank you very much to give us the chance and participate on our show. Again, thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much, Zuher. Very nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing you again.
For sure. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We reached the end of our episode. Thank you for watching. If you like the episode, please like, share, and subscribe to see our upcoming episodes.